Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back down under the mat. We are here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. This is Mr. Dan Danielson. I am WRESTLEMANIA. We are here to talk about all things professional wrestling. And we've just had WrestleMania 41 last week, and we are on the road to WrestleMania 42 as of Monday Night Raw this week. The Raw after Mania.
The Ram.
The Raw Ram.
Nah, you can't double down. Nah, it's just Ram.
Speaking of double down.
Although Raw is Raw, right?
Raw is.
It's the Raw after WrestleMania is Raw.
Holy shit.
But then Ram is the Raw after Mania. So Raw, because Raw, that means Raw's already
Raw.
Raw.
Raw. Oh, Ram Raw. That sounds...
That's a different podcast. You can find Reese's OnlyFans.
Let's just crack right into it. Raw after Mania begins with the never-before-seen 17. John Cena comes out to open the show. He's hiding here, and he's up there. And he's in our studio. Welcome, Mr. Cena. That's terrible. Are you just going to keep that?
Yep, the whole
All
time.
right, cool. I really loved the way they kicked this off with John Cena keeping the black and white, just basic font on the Titantron. The dates counting down.
Great touch.
It's 36 dates, and he goes through it all. London ticks down. Brussels ticks down. Las Vegas, and just keeps going and going. We've got 25 dates as of Smackdown left for John Cena.
Did Smackdown tick down a number? I didn't see.
No, I don't think it had it on his Titantron.
Because I thought that's what they would do, is like when he's Titantron.
Like every show, it's like it'll have
ticks.
that.
Yep.
This is date 26. This is date 25. I think that'd be a really nice touch.
Yeah.
One of those dates is confirmed as Australia, so
One,
pumped to get
two,
that.
three? How many?
Two, I reckon.
You
Two?
reckon? That's SmackDown and the Saturday Night's main event.
Yes. So lower your expectations. We've heard a rumor on the grapevine. It is not going to be Bad Blood Down Under. It is going to be Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, well, when we made our video a couple of months ago predicting what was going to happen that weekend, we kind of put a lot of fact-checking into Optus Stadium and what was booked in and around that, because I think Metallica's booked there.
Oh, shit, Metallica's coming.
Yeah, there's another concert and something, and then obviously the AFL and stuff. So we were trying to work around what
Could you
was
imagine
booked.
if WWE is in Perth at the same time Metallica is? We could go to both.
And they could just play out, like, can you imagine if they just played someone out?
Oh, that'd be sick.
But no, that's not going to happen. But they've confirmed that all the stuff for Perth now is Rack Arena for all 3 dates.
All 3 days.
So
there's no way they're going to do a pay-per-view. After the success they had for Elimination Chamber, there's no way they're just going to do Rack Arena for a pay-per-view.
And, I mean, I've had people discuss very diligently with me online that it's going to be a PLE still. But Rack Arena is like 13,000 people.
Yeah.
Even Clash in Paris, which is the pay-per-view after Backlash, that's in an arena in Paris, but it's a 40,000 seat arena.
Yeah.
They're not going to do a PLE overseas with less than 20,000 seats. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be a Saturday night's main event, which is cool, and it's going to have John Cena on
We're
it.
going to see Raw and SmackDown as well, so
Yeah,
I think
so-
that makes the trip worthwhile.
I think it'd be great for Australia to get that. I just think that, with what they're trying to tee up with all these global deals with Saudi, with all those different shows, it was either going to have to be a 50,000 person Optus Stadium PLE, or it's not. And I think we're getting the not this year.
Yeah. Which is it's going to taint a lot of people's want to go to this event over in Perth and travel back over. Because I've already had someone I've been talking to on our socials say that if it is a Saturday night's main event, they're not going to spend the money to travel from Melbourne.
Yeah, well, the travel to the other side of the country is the problem.
It's a killer.
But
it's a killer.
The positive to it is you get to see John Cena.
John Cena,
Which is what we were talking about at the start.
keeps mentioning functional relationship repeatedly. Raw and SmackDown this week. And that the last real champion will be taking the title and the lineage dies with him. And they're going to have a new tinfoil championship that everyone can parade around with, but he takes the lineage of the WWE championship away.
Well, they've
forever.
already retired the Universal title now.
They have.
So that's now officially retired on the WWE website. So there's no more lineage of the Universal title. So it is no longer the undisputed WWE Universal World Heavyweight Intercontinental Galactical Champion, whatever the hell they call it.
Galactical Champion.
It's
I like
now
the ring of that.
it's just the WWE Championship.
Yes, which is really good.
The World Heavyweight Championship, which is what we wanted because it's less confusing this way.
Yes.
To your point around the toxic relationship stuff, I like this because to me, he's making this relationship between the crowd and the WWE Universe and John Cena more personal. And, you know, we've all cheered or booed him and the let's go Cena sucks chance for 20 years, which is fine. And a heel could just play off on that, you know, you boo me or whatever. But him turning it into a relationship and like saying, you know, that like on SmackDown, I think was the key when he starts picking on that kid in the front row and his dad and like just saying that, you know, you never raised your child properly because I've raised your kids for 20 years. And
he raised spoiled brats.
Yeah, like the way that he is turning it so personal for him. And it's kind of, it's gaslighting us as the audience, but in a really smart way of doing it, in that he believes now that what we have been booing him for 20 years has been, you know, that none of us respect or none of us like John Cena. And now he's finally getting his comeuppance on us. And he's right in his head. But everybody else is looking at this and be like, we're booing you because you're doing bad things.
Yeah.
Like you kick people in the nuts and you use belt shots. So that's heel acts. We're going to boo you. And he's like, wow, you booed me for all this for 20 years. I like it. It's good. And yeah, I'm a fan of Cena making this more deep than a standard heel turn, and it's working.
Yeah, and he caps off this promo on Monday Night Raw with, everybody get your phones out, take a photo of the last time you will see the real world champion in Las Vegas. And then someone sneaks up behind him and then RKO out of nowhere.
Oh, shit.
I love the little, oh, shit, before he actually gets RKO'd. And I love that they just, here you go, John Cena, Randy Orton, straight away. They're not fucking around.
Yep,
They're just giving it to us on a platter.
And this is, again, smart from Triple H and WWE because we all fantasy booked, all right, John Cena's last year, he's got 25 dates left or whatever. Who do we want to see him? We want to see him against Orton. We want to see him against Punk. We want to see him have a match, probably with R-Truth at some point. We would like to see him have a match with The Miz again because, you know, maybe The Rock, like whatever we want. And they're like, all right, first one on the list.
Here you go.
Take
straight
it.
away.
Choice. Did you see the clips of Randy getting under the ring?
Yeah. No, not getting under, but coming out from under. His little, like, slow roll out.
I saw that. No, the one where he's getting under it. So they obviously had everybody come out before the show starts, and they were just sort of tightening the ropes and checking everything. And Randy just comes out with the hoodie on and stuff. And you just watch him walk around, and he doesn't do anything actually constructive. He walks out and he just starts banging on the steps. It's like, yeah, it's steps here. Yeah, they're metal. They're real steps. And then just rolls onto the ring.
I love that. We'll quickly pivot while we're on the topic of John Cena and Randy Orton to SmackDown and touch on that and then roll back to Raw. Without Cena even getting a word in, Orton interrupts him straight away.
Good.
And one of the main cruxes that I found was that Orton's found a void in John Cena that needs to be filled.
See, this was...
This promo was absolute magic. Cena is now a guest in the WWE because he's off in Hollywood. He's Mr. Hollywood man now. He's a part-timer and he's a guest here. And he's our champion. Mm-hmm. And it's a dysfunctional relationship.
Mm-hmm. And then the other lines from Randy that, you know, like, this is your problem, John. You wouldn't be this angry if you had kids.
Oh, the whole topic of kids and just like, how dare you parent shame me? I was like, oh, here we go. Because it's always been something Cena's been vehemently against is having kids. He just doesn't want them.
But also, like, fine. He has been very justified in his reasons for it.
Yeah.
That he doesn't have the time to, you know, to dedicate to a child and to be a parent. And he doesn't want to bring up a child in that, you know, environment where he doesn't have that ability to do that. And as someone who is a dad, and like I fully understand how much time and effort children are, you do have to dedicate a lot of your life to it. And, you know, most people find a good work-life balance between, you know, working and having kids.
But
I
when your
think
work
that's
is
different.
traveling across the country.
Yeah, across the world.
Yeah.
Like you're up
Ridiculous.
at 7 a.m. or 5 a.m. to do media on different things, and then you've got shoots till 10 p.m. at night, and then you've got to fly to Turkey to get your hair transplant done. Then you've got to fly
Confirmed on the Pat McAfee show.
that's fine. And then you've got to fly to like London for a premiere of something, and you got to fly. Like it would be really difficult to say you have the time doing that kind of a job to be a parent. Someone like Randy and Cody and that have worked out the balance of having a bus and having the kid with them, traveling the country with them. Like, I mean, Seth and Becky. Like Becky took a year off when she had Rue, or more than that, so that she could raise the kid and stuff. And now she travels around with them. Like John's argument against parenthood is logical and makes sense.
Yeah, especially for his schedule, like doing the WWE farewell tour and then still committing to Hollywood stuff this year and then
if you think, but then he's retired, he can have kids. But then he's 50. Do you really want to have a little
just acting the whole time?
Little child running around when you're 50 years old?
Yeah, no. One of my favorite parts of this was when John Cena brought up the topic of Randy being at 14. And then he said, I'm going to take this title because you are going to fail. And you will be forever frozen at 14. I loved that wording, little line. The wording was amazing. And he's going to have a tinfoil title and the family legacy of the Ortons will die.
And that was another point that Randy brought up when he said, like, when Cody's epic music hits, and it says there's more than one royal family in wrestling. And, he says that's not just Cody's family, but that's his family and everyone that's a second or third generation superstar, unlike John. Whereas John is going to go down probably as the GOAT, but he's also a, first generation.
Self-made millionaire.
Well,
billionaire.
Self-made?
Yeah.
You reckon?
No, he's put in the hard work. He's built himself up.
And I like that they're still giving him the props for, the most make-a-wishes, the most everything's like Randy is still saying that I still respect you, John Cena. You are still the greatest, but I don't like you and I'm still going to try and beat you. Yeah. And it's not going to happen, despite it being in his hometown in St. Louis.
Backlash has been made official. 10th of May, 11th of May for us here in Australia, which is great because it's
only 2 weeks away.
Yeah. It's right around the corner, and that's going to be one of my second to last podcasts before I go to Japan. So we're going to start building up some content to put out while I'm away.
Extra recordings. If you've got any ideas for the recordings, hit us up in the comments. Or
Absolutely. If you've got any topics you want us to discuss or like little game shows you want us to do, pop down in the comments or jump on over to our Discord. Come have a chat with everybody in there.
Should we predict the WrestleMania 42 card way too early?
Way too early. Absolutely. Drew McIntyre wins WWE Championship.
Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
Finally get their one-on-one match
versus
at WrestleMania. No, he just fucking ruined it. Pivoting back to Raw, we had the Women's Tag Team Championships once again defended. Now, before we touch on this match, I'm going to give huge props to Liv and Raquel because they did back-to-back-to-back championship matches for these tag team titles.
Yep.
And it's like 5 days ago right now. You've already seen. May be a spoiler, but Liv and Raquel have regained those tag team championships. They then successfully defended them on NXT as well. So huge props to them. They're absolutely putting in
tag team champions.
4-time. World record 4-time. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Just let them drop them, get them back again.
They can be 16-time women's tag team champions.
Well, what's the New Day? 11 or 12 times?
I think they're about 12, 13-ish.
I can see Liv and Raquel getting it. Judgment Day.
There's time.
14-time women's tag team champions. Look,
I'm done having my gripe on this tag team division. I've ranted after WrestleMania, after they had Becky return and then they won the belts. And then as soon as I saw them advertise that match in the opening segment of Raw, when they do everybody walking into the building and all that shit, and I saw that match advertised, I was just like, what are they doing? And then I was happy because Liv and Raquel got them back. But you didn't need to jump rope those tag titles.
You didn't?
Hot potato. You didn't need to have them lose the titles at WrestleMania, then regain them on Raw. Just for Becky to turn heel.
You did.
No.
You did.
No, she could have just been the one that took out Bayley. That's it.
Yeah, but then she's not turning heel on Lyra. She's turning
Bayley
heel on
was
Bayley.
at WrestleMania. She could have come out and attacked Becky while the ref wasn't looking. You didn't need to have the hot potato.
The whole gripe with Bayley is a totally different argument, okay? How she was left off the WrestleMania card and it being the plan for weeks Still does annoy me because I think she deserves her spot, and her interview with CBV kind of, showed even more her passion for wrestling and stuff.
And you could tell she
sucks.
kind of knew at that stage, like she was getting axed.
Oh, yeah, she knew she was wrestling. But someone else was trying to tell me that Becky didn't need to win the titles to turn heel, and I disagree. Because I think them winning the titles together and her coming back is great, but then Lyra essentially costing her that moment that she got the night before. Like, I've just come back, I've just won the titles, I've been away for so long, and I want one night of joy, and we lose them straight away, and it's all your fault.
Did they not do this 2 years ago? The exact same angle with Becky, Lita, and Trish? The exact same angle.
Did they?
Yeah. Trish effectively cost them the tag titles because she took over from Lita, and then that's what led to the Becky and Trish feud, because Becky turned heel and attacked Trish because she cost them the titles.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same story.
I mean, Becky did book it, so...
That's part of the reason why I'm so annoyed. It's just like they just copy and pasted a story from 2 years ago with a different person.
The only thing that I think this will hopefully help is elevate the IC, the women's IC title.
Becky's winning that for sure, and she's going to go an absolute tirade with that title.
Oh, no, I hope so, because that's what we want from it, right? Because then if you then go back to the story that Bayley was taken out by Becky or whatever, then Bayley goes against Becky for the title, and that's a good match.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
And then you start to pump up that division. So I think that's the positive, that's the light at the end of the tunnel for what all this was. I think I said on our Mania podcast, or I was talking to you offline about it, was that you can't bring Becky back as a face and have her cheered when her husband has just become the biggest heel in the company, turning on everybody with Paul Heyman.
And then she just turns heel.
You're like, it's gonna be really weird to think that, that they're going in the same bus or in the same household and it's two different things. Knowing it's different when it's like, Zelina Vega and Aleister Black or whatever, where it's like
they're not like
marks know that they're in a relationship, but they're not
but they don't
screen.
play it off on screen.
Whereas on screen, Seth and Becky are in a relationship. Like, they're married. We know.
Yeah, like we had that whole angle in 2018 that everybody absolutely loved.
where Seth defended the women's Charlotte title in a tag match.
Correct.
So I think the heel turn was fine. Was it rushed? Possibly. But do you get the reaction you want out of the Raw After Mania crowd when you turn someone like Becky heel? Yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah, I see a lot of people giving flack to Lyra for her selling during that assault from Becky Lynch, because she kind of like didn't really sell the move. She was more just shocked, and like when Becky gave her the manhandle slam, she kind of just like and like was like visibly looking up like, oh my god, how could you do this to me? There wasn't any like, oh, she's knocked out. It was just like,
but that's exactly how you would feel. You'd be like, why did you just do that to me?
I don't see people like, I don't see the logic behind cracking on about that.
Yeah, that does make sense to me.
Yeah, just.
I thought it was fine. And then when the only thing I didn't like was when the crowd were like, one more time. And she went in and did it again. That heel shouldn't do that.
No, it's just pandering to the crowd.
I mean, also, hindsight, Bronson Reed did that a lot with his tsunamis. Like, he kept on going back for more and more. But he kept on going back more and more and more, that it was past the point of pandering to the crowd. It was like, oh, he's actually trying to kill this person.
Yes.
Whereas Becky just pandered to the crowd and hit an extra slam.
Yeah. Moving on to the other tag team division on Raw, the New Day came out.
Oh, New Day. It's your boy.
And then they got interrupted by Alpha Academy, who I heard the music hit and I was like, why is Chad Gable coming out?
That's the wrong one.
Because I forgot.
It's not him.
Forgot. And then I was even like, Alpha Academy, really? Like, when the referee comes out and they're about to start a match, and then music hits. Unfamiliar music. Turns out it's Rusev Day. Rusev has returned and he takes out Alpha Academy. Great way to introduce him. Well, reintroduce him.
Was it though?
He just beat up a couple of nobodies. Why not?
Yeah, look, fine. And I think,
where else are you going to put him?
But that's the problem, is like he had to fit in somewhere where he's going to, like he's not going into the main title scene, right?
He's not going in the IC title scene. Because there's still Judgment Day shit going on.
He's not going to be in a tag team, but you're going to put him in a tag team segment. I don't know where you fit him in. I think when they re-debuted Aleister Black on SmackDown, that was much better done than what Rusev was. I think Rusev looked good. I like the fact that you get him to destroy Otis as a big guy and make Rusev seem really big. So I get the premise of putting him against Otis, but it just felt like it was, I don't know, it just didn't quite fit for me in interrupting a tag segment with Rusev. Because there's going to be no there's going to be no follow-up from the New Day because why would they bother with Rusev? He's on a tag team and we've got nothing to do with that smoke.
Fair point.
Is Otis going to fight him? Sure. I mean, and then is Tozawa going to fight him? Sure. You get a couple of weeks of Rusev looking...
Meaningless matches.
Yeah, and he's just throwing people around and smashing them, which is fine. Like, if you want the crowd that forgot who he was because, Miro was not on AEW TV for 2 years, that's probably what you need to do. But I feel like there's bigger fish that he should have gone up against.
I forgot how much of a big dude Rusev is.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. Pivoting on to our second match of the night. Io Sky came out for a promo to say how thankful she is that she retained and they're so proud of that WrestleMania match. And then she gets interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer. And then they have a fucking match on Monday Night Raw.
Banger
Holy shit.
match.
What a match this was. I couldn't believe it. I felt really bad because when I was watching Raw, Stephanie's music hits. And I was like, who the fuck is that? And then I was... It's not until she came into the show, I was like,
oh, it's Stephanie.
Right. Too many musics in my brain this weekend.
Too much Def Rebel?
No, just too much Fiend.
Don't.
Fiend.
No, I thought I was past that in my life.
Timeless.
You're ruining it. Stop it.
Just everything.
This match was really fun. I also had a very strong feeling that the second that they were like, let's have a match right now on Raw, but get a referee. And I was like, sweet.
Something fishy's going on.
How's this shitty ending coming? Because there's no way they're doing a clean finish for one of them.
And they did not.
Which was good that you had Roxanne come out because obviously was facing
Stephanie on NXT that week.
The next night.
Yes.
Right? And then Julia comes out. I thought that was a nice little touch that Julia came in interrupted. And then Rhea.
Rhea comes out, makes a save.
And I don't know big shiner on her head.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but I didn't catch it until social media afterwards.
The Julia and Rhea stare-off?
Well, Rhea's like, nobody hurts Io but me. She said that to them as she chased them off.
Okay.
We're getting that Rhea and Io feud, and it's going to be around Rhea finally pinning Io Sky.
Yeah, but when?
I don't know. Do you
put that on main event? Save it to Perth.
Oh, it's a long way away. They'll be doing it in the next couple months.
Yeah, I don't think it makes it to SummerSlam. Or maybe it does. Maybe it goes to SummerSlam.
So we got Backlash next in a couple weeks.
Then Money in the Bank, then Clash in Paris. Or Clash in Paris, then Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Do you do it in Paris?
Then I think it's SummerSlam.
Get a huge international title change? Do you want to carry it on for that long? That's the question.
Yeah. But look, this segment was fun. It sort of gave us a couple of the NXT women up on the main roster. We assume Roxy's coming.
She's got to. She would go on to lose the title, lose the championship match to Stephanie Vaquer on NXT this week.
Any shenanigans or anything? Or was it just a good match?
No, it was just a good match. Clean finish. Okay. There was a point, I'm sure you've seen it online, where Stephanie went to do her, knee spot where she's like,
the one that she copied off Charlotte.
Fuck off. Roxanne wasn't on her knees to do the proper selling. She was just lying flat, and you could audibly hear Stephanie yelling out on your knees to get her to do the spot properly.
That's unfortunate.
So she beat Roxanne clean, got got confronted. There we go. By Julia after the match. So they're still going to go Stephanie Julia, but Jordan Grace was in the crowd overlooking them both. So triple threat.
Okay.
You just slowly lose one person until it's just Stephanie and Julia, and then you can give the title back to Julia. Because I think that's a really good way to play off this feud, is because at the moment, Stephanie, they can play it off as she's escaping Julia because she's pinning in multi-person matches and pinning other people. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out in the future.
I think back to the Raw segment though, great match. Stephanie's spot is so much better when you don't have Booker T going, oh yeah, shucky ducky, oh yeah.
But then the whole crowd does it and then chants Booker T afterwards.
Yeah, well, it's kind of his thing. I just love the crowd that everyone is so far behind Io. She's just so over and it's the best. She's so fun.
Love it.
So fun.
Love it. We had the Jey Uso segment next, which was there's a bunch of yeeting, saying he's going to put in the work.
And then roll back again. Let's roll back again. Let's do it again. All right. And then just play his music again.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah, I'm over it.
We've said it before, and I think I'll stick to it. Take away yeeting. Take away his entrance. What's he got?
Not a lot.
He's got the crowd behind him, which is great.
Yeah. Sami Zayn comes out, makes a return to Monday Night Raw, which I was pretty pumped about. But like the first thing that crossed my mind was heel turn.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if you want a first defense from Jay in a really good match to put him over, Sammy's a really good pick.
Yeah.
And you can even have it as, they're the Usos and stuff and they're still friends and stuff, but
brothers.
you never beat me when I was the IC title. I never beat you, and we haven't had one-on-one matches.
Let's go.
Let's just have a
nice friendly one and then see what happens from there.
Because there's other storylines that happen later on that rules other people out of this world title picture. So I think they're just stalling until Seth Rollins is ready.
Yeah. Jimmy came out as well in that segment. They all
Can we do the hand thing?
It's just we can't do it over the desk, bro. Speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, the former World Heavyweight Champion would come out after that segment during the ad break and assault Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. And he is now indefinitely suspended.
Yes.
And has been fined an undisclosed amount as well, which means they haven't actually fined him.
Oh, it's all storyline, of course.
Yeah.
Look, Pat McAfee oversold the crap out of this with his coughing and spluttering and like it was fine. Like I get it. Like you're trying to oversell it because he is a commentator and you shouldn't put hands on commentators. But unfortunately, we all know that he's a wrestler and he's wrestled in NXT. He's had War Games matches.
Yeah.
So pick one lane, guys. The Cole side of it, I thought was great, and the fact that like Cole kind of instigated it. Where he was yelling at him and stuff, and then Cole was like, well, it's not my fault you tapped out.
Yeah, I'm not the one who tapped out at WrestleMania.
So, look, great work in terms of transitioning heel Gunther into something else. I'm pretty sure I called this several months ago that you wanted to put heat on Gunther, you get him to take out the commentators, and now they've done it.
Exactly
Thank you. It's okay, Triple H, you left it a couple of weeks later. It's fine. You can roll it into WrestleMania 42 season, and we'll take tickets to WrestleMania 42 now. Keep going.
Where's that?
New Orleans.
NOLA. Party capital.
This whole thing, though, this whole segment was really, really well shot and really well done in that you had Gunther take out Cole quickly and then Pat stand up for him and then he attacks Pat from behind. Yeah. All of Pat's podcast guys all jumped the...
that was chaotic, too.
Stands, and, like, they were worried. Like, I watched the Pat McAfee show the next day or whatever when he was talking about it. And he was like glad they were all right, but he was kind of worried that the whole crowd would have just started jumping over the fence.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know that those four dudes there were the guys from the Pat McAfee show, and you just thought that was the front row jumping in to help him, like someone else in the crowd's like, oh, I'll go help. And then someone else jumps over, and then all of a sudden you've got just the public trying to punch Gunther for choking out Pat
I
McAfee.
assume that would have been planned, them jumping over.
Yes. Yeah. The whole thing.
The vibes came across as it was like an impromptu thing.
Yes, they did very well with it. And the way that...
It looked 100% legit, and I was like, holy shit.
And Pat's thing on the podcast the next day was like, he kept giving him the shits. He was like, Adam Pearce, what are you going to do with your security? Because all your security blokes are too busy keeping my guys away from the ring, not getting Gunther off my neck.
Yeah. And he had two people there. One was a female referee, and then one was...
It was the Hurricane.
Helms,
Yeah. But that was really fun. That was really well shot the whole way through. And then when you got Cole in the back talking to Pearce, and he was like, no, he's like, you have the night off. He's like, no, I can't have them, wrestlers bully me and not let me talk to my opinions. This is my job. I need to go and do it.
Absolutely.
Babyface Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Sign me up for it. He's going great. And then the point you made to me was Joe Tess, when he got back on there and finished the show with Michael Cole, showed up with his shirt untucked and no jacket, no tie.
No tie, no jacket on until a little later.
So he was just backstage. He was just hanging out, and they were like, hey, man, this has happened. You better...
Boom, go. And I love how that gave, like, the sense of urgency and the fact
realism
that it was...
to it.
Yeah, the realism. It was completely unexpected. So, very nice touch there.
Does this, you reckon, lead to a Pat versus Gunther match?
I see a lot of people talking about it online. I don't know if Pat's quite at that level of wrestling ability. Like, no offense to Pat, he's done pretty well in the ring. I think Gunther, from what I've seen,
Gunther can carry a broom to a 4.5-star match. Man.
Well, yeah, like it just depends on what type of match you want to see out of those two. Whether it's just like
it's destroying.
Yeah, Gunther just completely dominates Pat.
Well, the match that I would give it comp to, and this is the one that just came to my head then, was remember when Ricochet got a world title shot against Brock Lesnar? And none of us thought
Yeah.
Ricochet was going to win. And Brock just came out and suplexed him, beat the shit out of him. And then Ricochet got like 5 minutes of, here's my babyface comeback.
Yeah.
Do that. Have Gunther destroy
Yeah.
Pat. Tear his chest up, make him look bleeding, covered in red. And then Pat starts to hit a couple of moves. And then Pat hits a big top rope elbow or something. And you're like, oh my God, Pat might have a chance.
And then he goes off the top
whack.
rope and then
Yeah.
slap down, powerbomb sleeper, done.
Correct. I think that would be good. And that would put so much more heat on Gunther than what he's got now.
Absolutely. We had an Intercontinental Championship match. We had a 3-hour Raw with 3 matches.
Was it only 3 matches?
It was only 3 matches. It was the women's tag title,
Yeah.
Stephanie and EO, and then Dom versus Penta. That was it. How crazy.
WrestleMania
Constant
Night 3.
WrestleMania recaps, but then the amount of promos and like other segments that we got tonight, it sets up, not tonight, the other night, sets up the coming months of storyline.
Yes.
Dom and Penta was a great match. We got the return of JD McDonagh.
JD McDonough's back.
He's back. Finn didn't seem too happy. It was like he didn't know that JD was coming back.
Yeah, I think that they'll play that off that he didn't know.
Yeah, so I don't want them to drag out this Judgment Day split like they did previously with the tension with Damien and Finn.
Oh, they're going to.
It took way too long to get to that point. They're going to do it again, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, Dom would retain. I don't think there's anything major to talk about with this match. It was just a match. I don't remember it being amazing.
No, and I mean, I think my first thought when it happened, and I didn't click and put 2 and 2 together, was like, oh, here's all the schmozzle, we're going to run it back. Where's Bron? Why is Bron not getting involved with his IC title? So they'll throw him in later or something. It's fine. That didn't happen.
Well, he got thrown in elsewhere.
Yeah, the part when they finished at the end and they had everyone cheering and like Finn was kind of like in front of them and they kept trying to pull him back in, like, no, you're with us. We're still celebrating.
Yeah.
I think that they are going to play on this turn for a while, and then Finn hopefully is the one that turns on them rather than they turn on
I just wonder
Finn.
if JD is going to side with him because they're so close and like kind of like master protege sort of thing with
Eventually, I
Finn
reckon.
and JD.
But I think that he might be the one that's like stuck in the choosing, right?
Yeah.
Which way do we go? Do I stay with Judgment Day, who have done so much for me in my career, or do I go with Finn?
Yeah. Then it comes to our main event segment for Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. They didn't really get a lot of words, didn't they?
I can't even remember what Seth's promo was.
I don't even think they got much in. Essentially just Seth is visionary, revolutionary, the winner of the main event of WrestleMania Night 1.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk comes out. Stomps Seth in the corner, gets his hands on Paul Heyman.
Straight brawl. Yep.
Gets his hands on Paul Heyman. Shoves him to the ground. But then Seth Rollins gets back on top.
Mm-hmm.
Stomps Punk. And then goes to pose in the middle of the ring. And then Roman's music hits. What a segment to close Raw after Mania. Roman comes down, spear, turn around, Superman punch to Paul Heyman.
Which he sold like a boss.
Oh, absolutely. And then Roman's setting up to go for the spear on Paul Heyman.
Paul's dead. Paul Heyman is now dead.
He's good. He's cooked, mate. He's
His
cooked.
obituary is being written as we speak.
And then Roman gets speared by a mysterious hooded figure. Kind of looked like Drew McIntyre.
Somebody thought it was Paul Heyman. Oh, what a spear from Paul Heyman.
No, it is Bron Breakker. Bron spears Roman. Seth comes in the ring and he looks sort of hesitant. He's like,
And then Bron
going on?
spears
CM Punk.
just from behind him. Ooh, that one
And then
was the one that got me.
the embrace from behind by Seth to Bron. I was like, holy shit, here we go. Now, everyone's talking about new evolution, yada, yada, yada. And one thing that I've had people mention online that I've seen that I had no idea about was the Dangerous Alliance from WCW.
Yep, seen the same thing.
Because it's all based around Paul Heyman and his Dangerous Alliance. So immediately everyone's speculating who's the next person going to be that's going to join them.
Yep, it's Omos.
Absolutely. The Nigerian Giant. I think the front runners for us are Austin Theory and Ethan Page.
Yeah, so you put it in context. If we are going this as Evolution 2.0, you've got Ric Flair, which is Paul Heyman, as in the experienced older head.
Yeah.
Even in the Evolution days, like Ric Flair, I think he did do some tag matches and stuff, but he really was mostly a figurehead for them. He wasn't wrestling a lot.
Yeah.
The experienced vet that runs the whole lot was Triple H, Seth Rollins. And then Batista was the meat and the muscle, which we think is the Bron Breakker character.
Yeah.
Now, Randy Orton is who is the next person? Who's the Randy?
The next
for this
superstar, the athletic, charismatic individual.
And you think that like in Evolution, like Randy was just going around being like a babyface when that happened. Like him and Batista weren't at the main event. They weren't sitting right under Triple H. They were just guys on the show when this happened.
Cannon fodder.
And they handpicked them out, and then they became Evolution, and that's how they became Batista and Orton.
Yeah. I really, like I know offline you said that they're kind of hinged on the Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, tension, turning.
Well, they had a promo on Raw.
Yeah, but...
in an ad break.
Yeah, in an ad break, so who cares? I feel like Austin Theory is probably the best choice.
I think he fits really well for what the physique would be and for how the character should fit in with Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Like a smug, cocky, young individual.
Yep.
That's Austin Theory to a T.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he's someone that could use a rocket to get him back where he is. Him turning on Grayson, I don't know if you could turn Grayson face with this, though. That's maybe my issue.
He loves, like, getting nitty and gritty with the fans too much to be a face.
100%. And he's never going to get cheered by the Americans because he's an Aussie.
Yeah.
So, not in the same, like, Rhea gets cheered, but that's because she's Mummy, not because she's Australian. So I think if you have Theory turn on Grayson, I don't think that helps Grayson out at all.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of need to have
a weird dynamic.
It just needs to be, if that is the choice that is made, you just need Theory to just be like,
see ya, I'm done.
Paul Heyman, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It's not against you. Like,
they don't have to have any sort of like match or anything.
No.
It could just be like, oh, he just left me. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm Grayson Waller. I don't need anybody. And then he still is heel. Austin Theory's over there.
And then he can get fed to Rusev.
There you go. There's Rusev's first feud. Everyone likes Rusev. I know they tried to play him off as a heel, but I don't think that's going to
No, I think he's just going to be the big monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, this segment is closing. That shot of the three of them holding their arms up and stuff at the end. This is a new... And Seth saying that everything in WWE comes through me now.
Yeah.
He's the proverbial head of the table now in the WWE. It's Seth at the top.
Love it. One thing to touch on NXT before we jump and cover the rest of SmackDown. Joe Hendry was on NXT this week. Yes. So
after he got buried at WrestleMania by Randy Orton?
Obafemi came out, cut a promo, essentially trying to figure out who his next challenger is going to be because he won at Stand and Deliver, which means Trick and Javon back of the line. But Trick wasn't taking no for an answer. So he comes out. He had a whole thing later on in the show. He crashed out backstage, was throwing shit everywhere, and I think he damaged one of the cameras as well. But during that, Joe Hendry came out. So there's Obafemi, Joe Hendry, and Trick Williams in the ring. Mm-hmm. And Joe Hendry was essentially pushed Trick to the side, and then they both took out Trick Williams. Okay. So it looks like they're gearing up to do Obafemi versus Joe Hendry.
Well, Joe Hendry tomorrow is defending his TNA title.
Yep, at Resurgence.
Yeah, it's Resurgence.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Because Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page, right?
Yes, correct.
So you assume that then he gets through that.
Yeah, and then Obafemi on the other side of that.
Was it you that sent the picture into our chat with the cuck chair?
The cuck chair.
TNA.
I will put it right here.
How do you feel being TNA being like, oh, so he's a world champion, we're going to book him through this, but maybe we're going to get Frankie to win the title. Sorry, NXT, what? You want Joe Hendry to face stay the chair?
Oba?
Okay, we'll change our booking. Thank you very much. No worries. Joe Hendry can stay champion.
Yeah. Oh, WrestleMania? Randy Orton? Here you go.
Yeah, you take him. That's fine. What do we get? You can have Tatum Paxley. Seems like a fair deal.
They had Toxic. No, not Toxic.
Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
Toxic Attraction was Mandy
TNA,
Rose, and we worked out that Mandy Rose is the first ever two-time women's champion.
We're not going back down that avenue. Next on SmackDown, after the whole John Cena, Randy Orton schmozzle, Tiffany Stratton comes out. Cut a nice babyface promo. She's retained her championship. She's the queen now. She's the new queen.
I'm so glad Charlotte wasn't on the show. Keep Charlotte away for a while.
Go away. We don't want you no more. I was kind of surprised that Jade Cargill came out.
Yeah, I didn't pick that.
No. Nice surprise, though. I was like, it wasn't one of those decisions where I'm like, oh, this isn't interesting, or like, oh, I don't care about this. So I was like, oh, here we go. Let's see what happens here.
My only problem with this is that, like, if Jade is going for the world title, Jade's winning the world title.
Yeah.
But I don't.
And that was my immediate concern.
I don't think she is yet.
No, because as we would go to find out, Naomi would interfere in the match.
Yep.
And then Nia Jax would attack Tiffany Stratton.
And return,
afterwards. Yeah, so good bit there. We still got the Jade Naomi stuff going on. Nia's back to get revenge on Tiffany Stratton as well. So,
and it was very similar to the Stephanie Io match in that Tiffany and Jade was good match.
Oh, they had a great match.
But you knew there was no finish to this.
That cartwheel Alabama spot that Tiffy likes to do.
Oh,
that
into the
Jade
powerbomb?
reversed into the powerbomb. Oh, it looked spectacular. Jade's getting so much better in the ring.
Yeah.
We had Jacob Fatu and Solo out in the ring after that. Solo claiming that the only reason why Jacob is champion is because of him. He picked Jacob Fatu and he brought him in. Jacob snatches the microphone off him. I did this. It's all from me. Yaramin.
That was good.
Thanks.
That was a good Jacob one. Look, I think that's a good twist to put into this, the relationship between Solo and Jacob. And the point that Solo makes, again, is correct, is that nobody else wanted Jacob. The bloodline had been around for years. They all knew about him, but no one wanted him here.
My thing when watching this was there was no Tama Tonga, which I thought was interesting. And mentally I was like, is Tonga Loa coming back? Is he going to attack Jacob from behind? But I think looks like they're going to be giving that turn with Jacob leaving that bloodline more of a slow burn.
I almost think they just need to set Jacob away from it now.
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't have to be turning on one or the other. Just like, I'm just going my own way. See you down the road sometime.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. And Solo can get the Tama Tonga and the Tonga Loa and what are the other Gorillas of War? What are they called?
Gorillas of Destiny?
Yeah, whatever.
GOD.
GOD, that's right. Gorillas of Destiny, not Gorillas of War. I don't know what that was. But like then maybe he can have them as a tag team and Solo can be their manager and stuff and like let's put them into the tag title scene again because they champs last year and stuff. Like once they're all fit. I think you need to let Jacob be Jacob now. Like you've strapped the rocket onto him. He's had an incredibly good match at WrestleMania. He looks like an absolute beast in these segments later on, like throughout the whole of SmackDown. Just let him go.
Don't we have ourselves some fun in this mid-card title scene right now?
Drew McIntyre?
LA Knight comes out to interrupt, and then Drew McIntyre came out to interrupt. They would go on to have a one-on-one match for the number one contendership later.
Again, I love Drew's justification of this.
Yeah.
Was that, well, if Randy Orton's just going to come in and put himself in a title match and skip the queue, then fine. Guess I'm not going for the for the WWE title.
I want to fight the real baddest dog in the yard. So good. And that way that it came across was like, John Cena's not enough anymore. Like he's tainted that heavyweight championship and that main wrestling championship scene. And Drew doesn't want a part of it. So he's going for the next baddest person. That's Jacob Fatu. And then during their match, Drew would win by DQ because Priest would come out and attack Drew McIntyre, who Drew alluded to not being in the building earlier on, which I fell for hook, line, and sinker. Right. So when Priest came out, I was like, oh, and then
but also the point after that, before that, was when Solo thumbed LA Knight.
Yes.
And Drew was like staring daggers. He's like, I don't trust the bloodline. I hate you. Why did you do this? Fine, I've got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And it's still costing.
And it's not the first time we've had that happen.
Yep.
So I love that they're still like sowing those seeds of doubt, and he still doesn't trust the bloodline. He's had so much against mostly Roman, but Solo was the one who cost him that title at Clash in the Castle. So it's nice that they're still like weaving that thread in with the story.
If you give us a fatal four-way of Fatu, Knight,
the match is going to cook, bro. Holy crap. So good. Women's United States Championship next.
Why do they do this?
I've seen a lot of people have been thrilled about this title change online.
Why?
I don't know. I kind of am indifferent about it. I was just like, okay, she won.
Look, I think I was talking to Lockie because we watched this yesterday on this part of SmackDown, and I'm all for Zelina winning the title.
I think the way that they've gone about it with the storyline the last few weeks, it just hasn't enthralled me.
But I think also the effort that Chelsea has put into that title and the way that she's defended it and the way she's got the Secret Hervis and her new Titantron and everything that she's done around that title has just been so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that character and the Secret Hervis and everything works without being the US champion.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So I hope that doesn't knock her too far down and sort of ruin the act. But I also don't really think that she needs to hold the title hostage because she's better than just the title.
Yeah.
So Zelina is very good and deserves it. I kind of just felt a bit flat. She's like, oh, she just hit the code red and 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh.
And it wasn't even like an amazing looking code red. It just looked like a roll up.
It was code red in the middle of the match. I was like, oh, okay, it's done. Good. I don't know where else they go with the women's the US title.
Probably going to cop a lot of flack for this. I don't see Zelina having a long reign.
No, I don't think so either. I think she probably holds it through maybe 1, maybe 2 pay-per-views and then drops it back to someone. But like I said, I don't know who else you put in that title scene unless you're going to start, if you bring up Roxy or maybe, Nia and Candice are probably going to go after Tiffany again. Yeah. You don't want Jade going for the US title because it's a copy of her winning the TBS title from
Charlotte.
Charlotte makes sense.
Charlotte and Becky with the mid-card championships. Give them credibility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And give people like a huge obstacle. Like you want to start progressing your way up the roster, you've got to get through... I hate the fact I'm saying this. You've got to get through the best of the best to get to the mid-card championship. And then from there you can progress above. And if you can defeat Becky or Charlotte, you're ready for the big time.
Imagine the pop for Chelsea Green when she beat Charlotte Flair for the title again. Somewhere in Canada.
Would love that. We had a nice little backstage segment with The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, a big old ugly necklace that The Miz has gifted to Carmelo. The chain's nice, but
the big Andre head.
Like, big Andre head just like there, just taking up so much space on the TV.
I hope Melo wrestles with it and then tries to hit like a splash or something and it just whacks him in the chin.
He can use it as a weapon now. Just smash people. For my viewing, it cut directly from that to The Miz cutting a promo in the ring, which you can probably talk on the promo a little more than I can. I can't remember the exact wording of it, but essentially being frustrated about his position not being on the WrestleMania card. He main evented WrestleMania 27 against John Cena. Where's my respect? Yada yada.
I've beat Randy Orton. I've beat John Cena.
Lights cut out.
But he's also very key point to all of this. He's in a full white suit.
Full white suit. And I kind of I looked at it and I was like, why is Miz cutting a promo? Why is he in all white? Oh, he's in all white. You know who's coming back? Lights cut out. Aleister Black's back with his old music and the same entrance in the... No man has ever truly good. Love it.
I love his entrance music. It's the best.
Hopefully this leads to Aleister versus Carmelo as a feud because that would absolutely slap.
Well, you're getting Aleister versus Miz next week.
Yes, we are.
And I assumed that he beats Miz with Carmelo watching on or something. Then Carmelo then says, look, Miz, you helped me win the Battle Royale. You mellowed on Miz. I've got to now defend your honor. Yep. And that's when you have the match with Aleister and Mello. And that's going to be fun.
So much fun.
I even said to Lockie, I was like watching, like when they were standing there talking and Miz was just yelling at him, being like, what are you doing? And I said, Lockie, just watch this kick. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I guarantee you he's going to walk straight into a roundhouse kick. And it was just the black mass.
Nice and clean. Absolutely.
If you are a new fans of WWE and you haven't seen a lot of Aleister Black or Malachi Black when he was in AEW, don't watch his AEW stuff because he didn't do much other than trios matches. It was pretty boring. Go see his NXT Black and Gold stuff. The matches that he had with Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, Andrade. That some of those are the best matches you'll watch. They are phenomenally good. So I really hope him and Rusev being injected post WrestleMania allows them to start some new feuds and get some different things going on TV, and it lets maybe some of the guys that have worked their ass off for the last 6 months take a break.
Yeah.
Because you've got somebody else to just...
Well, Cody didn't show up on SmackDown at all. He was initially advertised for it, but he was not there. Yep. During the week, I saw some news articles saying that he's going to take a little bit of time off. I think, for him having a full 12-month reign and then succumbing to a defeat to John Cena at WrestleMania in that way. Give him a bit of a breather for a month or two, and I'd say by Clash in Paris, he's back in the fold.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think it's that long. I think he'll cut a promo or something before probably Backlash. But I agree in that he needs some time away for us to, like, we've said this on this
Just
show
a breather.
he's much better at chasing than he is the champ, and everyone was kind of a bit done with his title reign.
And you could hear it in Las Vegas, like at WrestleMania or at SmackDown. People were booing him, like very loudly, audibly booing him.
His promo on SmackDown, he turned the crowd back with him, which was like very, very well done from Cody. But I still think people were a bit stale on him. So giving him some time away, letting us deal with John Cena in a separate world now. Like let Cena's retirement run and the title be over here doing its thing. Yeah. And then Cody can work his way back through it. And what Cody has to go through to get back there. Don't know. But
he's got no Brock Lesnar to go through this time.
Maybe it's an Aleister Black. Maybe it's a Drew McIntyre. That was the original plan when Drew got drafted to SmackDown. Was the feud.
I'm down.
Until The Rock changed everything.
Main event time for SmackDown. TLC. Tag team match.
I only watched this morning.
Holy
so
shit,
good.
What a match. And they went out there, as you said, they went out there with a chip on their shoulders and they showed the world why that match should have been on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah. I can't give enough props for Tommaso Ciampa, man. The bumps that this bloke took.
Yeah.
After the fact that he injured himself at WrestleMania weekend, had to shave his whole beard off.
Yep.
And like, if you follow him on Instagram and stuff, all he does is like his pictures of his kid, and he's collecting his basketball cards and things, and the protein and things that he cuts, and his work ethic for how ripped he is as a dude.
At one point during that TLC match, he was climbing up a ladder, and his tricep was just like bulging out. Dude's huge. He's jacked,
and I can't express how much
he's the MVP of this match.
He's so good in this match. Johnny Gargano hit some fantastic spots. The Machine Guns sold their asses off. The Street Profits look great. Montez Ford is an absolute goddamn superstar. Like, if he wasn't in such a good tag team, throw him in the world title scene. Yeah. Like, one day, maybe 2-3 years time, let's have him and Bianca on screen as world champions.
Yep, I'll be down for that. Absolutely. I know Josh wouldn't. Let's quickly run through some of the spots. Street Profits would go on to retain the tag team championships in arguably the match of the week.
Arguably the match of the weekend.
Do you mean like the entirety of WrestleMania season?
Yeah.
You're going to put that above the women's triple threat?
I'm going to put it very, very close behind it.
Okay, there you go. So we've got Johnny Gargano hitting a flatliner off the ladders, which looked superb. Dawkins hit a twisting neck breaker to Johnny Gargano on top of the chairs that were back to back. So spiked in with that one. They had the whole gathering of the tag teams on the outside. Montez over the top, blockbuster into the crowd. He did his usual over the top turnbuckle spot into them on the outside as well. The prosthetic leg. Absolutely loved seeing that. Ciampa hitting the white noise through the ladder on the outside.
Yep.
Motor City Machine Guns hitting the skull and bones while they were standing on the table, which I thought was ridiculous because he started like working his way onto the table and I was like,
and you watch the table like wobble. I'm like, whoa, is it going to actually hold their weight? I was so concerned
for a second, but yeah, it held their weight and the move looked spectacular. We got the spear off the ladder to Ciampa through the table in the ring. Montez, I was just waiting for him to do it, the springboard spot onto the ladder in the middle. Mm-hmm. And then him climbing up the like outside structure of the ladder, getting Johnny and Alex Shelley off, getting the titles back. So
this is the definition of a TLC match, man.
Yes.
You can tell that these three tag teams are true wrestling fans, and all of them probably were at WrestleMania 17 or watched WrestleMania 17 and went, geez, we love this match. Tag team wrestling is the best.
Yeah.
And they all sat down in a room and they were like, let's put this match together. We've been building this tag team division for 6 weeks or for 8 weeks now with who's going to be in one of these multi-man matches. Oh, hang on, sorry, what? We're not on WrestleMania? Oh, you're going to put the War Raiders against the New Day in a 6-minute match because it's Clash of Clans. Oh,
okay. Well,
thanks. No problem. All right, so let's just let's do everything physically possible.
And they did. Like, how do you top that WrestleMania 17 spear off the ladder spot?
Do it through a table.
And do it through a table. which looks
Wasn't
great.
quite as clean as the
It wasn't
the
quite
Jeff
as
Nash one.
high either because they didn't have the 20-foot ladder in the ring.
Yeah, Ciampa was pretty high up. He was,
Oh,
just
he was
as high
hanging,
as
but
Edge,
like
though.
it just
Jeff was.
it didn't. I don't know whether it was just the angle, but like that WrestleMania 7, like it's burned and etched in everyone's minds. You can picture that. I feel like that was.
I think you
a
need
high
to see Dawkins' spear from the hard cam.
Yeah,
Because the shot they took it of was from the ring camera or from under the ring.
in the ring. Yeah,
So maybe it does look different. But look, absolute spot fest. And when you book a TLC match, it's what you want.
yeah.
And this was superb. The crowd loved every second of it. These
They got
six
this
guys,
is awesome chance. I think like maybe 4 times during that match. Absolutely insane.
so much fun. Look, huge week of wrestling.
Yeah,
And like, you know, the meme, I think the video WWE put up after WrestleMania 41 was when the main event had finished.
Triple H. There's your notes for Monday Night Raw.
New season starts now. Oh, what a great off season that was.
2-hour off season.
That to me was a rocketing start for what a new season of WWE will be, because you clearly have set a new storyline chronicle of Seth and Paul and Bron as what they're going to be doing. You've got John and Randy, and you've got all that happening. You've got the new players in Aleister Black and Rusev. You've got the IC title change, the US title change for the women, the IC title scene and everything happening there. Like they've gone and go.
Yeah.
And everything is just going.
Straight off the bat. Something to keep your keen eyes out for. You mentioned new players in the scene.
I did.
Heavy rumors floating around this week that WWE is very close to signing Mariah May. So keep your eyes peeled. Another injection into the already stacked women's division in WWE.
Maybe have her beat Zelina Vega.
Well, there you go. I don't think she'll. I hope not. I don't think she'll filter through NXT. I think she'll just go right to the main card.
I mean, we said that with Jordan Grace.
Yeah, we said that with Jordan.
Julia.
We said it with Stephanie. So we'll see what happens. But I think because Mariah May, her dream and her goal has always been to get to WWE.
Yeah.
And I said it after that amazing Hollywood ending match against Toni Storm. Like, where does Mariah go from here? And it looks like her contract is going to be running out very shortly, and she's making the jump, which whenever that happens would be the 6th person from AEW to jump to WWE
Recently. Yeah, okay.
this year. We've had 5 people already.
This year.
Yeah. Penta, Phoenix, Ricky Saints, Alistair, and Rusev. We've had 5 people already jump ship.
It's true. And you heard Nick Khan on WrestleMania weekend saying that when they come out of contracts and stuff, we'll talk to them.
Yep, absolutely.
He's happy to do it.
Keep your eyes and ears out for that news when that breaks. Thank you for tuning in. We want to thank you for always supporting us. We see those people commenting on our posts and liking them repeatedly. So thank you for the support. This has been Mr. Dan Danielson. I've been WRESTLEMANIA. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, and we will see you next time down under the mat. Too sweet!